So where are we now? Where have you brought me?
I've brought you to Bradfield St Clair, 2 miles up the road from Cockfield, to this delightful little grade 2-star church.
Is there something specifically that people should come here to see? Is there,
They should-
other than the fact that it is in an absolutely beautiful setting?
They should come here to see the stitched kneelers and seats that are in the chancel. They are absolutely beautiful, and there's a photo on the wall of the gentleman who started the project off and who completed them. The altar kneelers and seats, cushions were designed and made by Mr. George Inslee, who's in the photograph here, who was a congregation member here in the 70s and was fed up of kneeling on a stone cold floor, so decided to make these beautiful kneelers depicting the village. So that's why they are here, and next year they will be 50 years old, would you believe? All 9 of the buildings that are under my care, or under the care of our PCCs, are very different, which means I don't really have a favourite. Every time I visit one of my churches, that becomes my favourite church for the day.
Yeah,
that's the way I
that's
deal
a
with it.
very, very good answer. What are the sorts of things that go on within the Deanery? I'm sure it's a long list, but can you give us some sort of things that people would, particularly engage with?
Well, this year, Lavenham Church is celebrating the 500th anniversary of the tower being completed. So there's a whole list of events that are going on that you can actually find on Eventbrite. There are various talks that are happening. World famous people are coming to talk about various aspects of history and all sorts of different topics. So that's one to watch out for. But across the Deanery, it's the usual round of services, events, of mums and tots groups, of over 65 groups, women's groups, men's groups. There's so much on offer across all our benefices.
What are the sorts of things that people should be praying for to support?
I think
people in this
loneliness is a huge factor. A lot of elderly people living on their own. So in my benefice, for example, we have this monthly gathering of those people who are over 65. And that goes up to people who are like 98 or 99 who attend, who are lonely. So we bring them together. I think it's lonely for some young families because there aren't networks for them to relate to immediately in the village. So I believe that many of our churches try to fulfil that need in opening sort of mums and tots groups, under 5s groups. In our benefice we run a messy church, but I know in Rattleston they run a sort of muddy church, they call it. I think loneliness is one of the things that we really need to beat out in the rural areas. And that comes along with transport problems. So providing transport for those people that need to get to these groups is really vital.
What are the sorts of things that people could volunteer for? Because this is the largest voluntary organisation in Suffolk already, but there's a lot of work to do, isn't there?
I think we do need more volunteers to assist in these sort of community initiatives, so more helpers. Now, of course, it does mean that you have to do a bit of safeguarding training, but that's very simple, and once you've done that, you can be part of these groups that reach out to the lonely and the elderly. But if you don't fancy that, there are things like mowing grass in your local churchyard. You could help out with creating these wild spaces within our churchyards that encourage bee growth and flowers.
And we had a bit of a chat about that in the first little film we did, the little introductory film, and talked about how the environment has such a potential to engage all sorts of people with the preservation of a church and using the church space in a way that protects the planet and God's creation.
We are really in need of volunteers to help us with accounting, with our PCC treasurers, bookkeeping, paying in money, all those sort of vital things that any group or club has to do. I would hope that anybody who joins a congregation in any of our churches in the Deanery, they would be welcomed and they would be made to feel that they are part of something.
A family.
Yes, God's family. That there aren't prejudices. It doesn't matter what they look like, what gender they are, where they've been brought up, how they speak, that they will be accepted and loved and valued for who they are.
God loves everyone.
Absolutely.